name's Mike Sullivan and this is Dietrich, and welcome to the explanation of misdirection. Okay, so you've opened the package and you have found some instructions. I know this because you're watching this video now, but you've also found one of these, the sign. Now if you look at the sign closely, you will find that it has magnets in it, and those magnets hide two flaps. The first flap is a big P, and we'll talk about big P's in a moment, and then the second flap reveals a checkered flag. This is all part and parcel of the routine, which we'll go into very shortly, but before we do that, if you haven't read the instructions, we'll just go over what you need to do to set yourself up to actually perform misdirection. Okay, so you're ready to perform misdirection, but before you do that, there are a couple of things you need to do to the sign to make sure that you have the right orientation. And the best way to describe this is if you take your sign and you have the flap with the checkered flag to your right. And I'll just show you that there, like that. And the sign should be pointing up. This is the orientation it needs to be in to start misdirection. To make it even easier, what you would also need to do is take either a pen or pencil and put two dots, one in the top right hand corner and one in the bottom left hand corner. Now this is your top right and your bottom left. When we're performing it and the script, you will see that it needs to be mirror image because the crowd are looking at you from a mirror image point of view. These spots also help you with when you start the performance, because these are the starting positions of your hands when you start performing misdirection. So just to run over that very quickly, you should have a dot in the top right hand corner and a dot in the top left hand corner. And this is the start position of misdirection. Once you've done that, you're ready to go. Hi and welcome to this explanation of misdirection. Now, you have received in the packaging a written script which you can go ahead and follow. So, the first thing you need to do is grab your sign and make sure that you've set it up the way it was explained earlier. You should have the flap with the flag to your right, that's the audience left, and a spot on the top right and a spot on the bottom left. These are the hand positions that you will start off with when performing in front of the audience. Just to confirm, the arrow facing you should be face up, like so, and the arrow facing the audience should be pointing to their left or your right, as the case may be. Now, for this explanation purposes, I've asked my good friend Paul Martin to go through the script line by line. He will do that, and then I will point out the different hand positions that you need to be in. Now, for the sake of the first part of the script, where you're talking about the gag of entertainers and magicians coming out saying that it took a long time or it's very difficult to get to the venue, we're going to skip all that. We're going to go to the part where the policeman has pulled the arrow out. Now, as I've said in the instructions, but we'll clarify here, I prefer to have the arrow tucked down the back of my trousers. This is very simple because when you walk on stage, nobody will see this. I literally have it tucked like this, so that when I pull it out, it is in the position where I can start misdirection. You can walk on the stage once you've been announced and start. You could also have it in a case or cabaret table, whatever is on the stage at the time. Okay, so we're at the part where you are now in the position where the policeman has pulled the arrow out and is showing the audience. Your right hand should be in the top right position, your left hand should be in the bottom left position. Paul, the first part of the script is?
He said, go down to the bottom of the road and turn left.
So you turn the arrow once and show it left again.
That's my left, not yours. You then go left again, and then left, and left again.
So you've turned the arrow 4 times. You should now be in the start position with the arrow pointing up and the arrow facing the audience pointing to their left. You then do this another 4 times as per the script.
I said, wait a minute, if I go left and left again, and then left and left again, I'll be back here.
So now you are in the start position again. This is very, very simple. A total of 8 times and as per the script.
So make sure you don't go right.
So at this point, you are now going to change your hand positions. Remember, as per the instructions, you need to now point to your left. That is the audience's right, because now you're going to replace your left hand on the top left.
So don't go right, go left.
And then you point to the right, which is their left, and replace your hand in the bottom left position. You are now ready to do the next part of the script, which is...
Because right is wrong.
So you turn once.
And left is right.
And turn again. You then do it again.
I said right is wrong and left is right. He said right.
And now you're in this position. Just to recap, the arrow should be pointing to your left, or the audience's right, and the arrow facing you should be pointing down, ready for the next part of the script.
You then go down under the bridge.
Now at this point, you need to hold the sign at the midsection here and extend your arm out to show the arrow pointing down.
Down under the bridge and take a left.
At this point, you then revolve your wrist, bringing the arrow to show the left.
You then go up the hill.
And at this point, you then retract your arm back to chest level, showing the arrow going up.
And go right around the corner.
And lastly, just turn the arrow end for end and show the right.
You will now be outside the army barracks.
Now at this point, you need to be at the point where you're showing the left-right sign. So again, you need to have your top left hand and your bottom right hand.
You'll know it's the army barracks because you can hear them saying left, right, left, right.
And you turn it 4 times and stay at the right position.
Except for the guy in the end, he's got a one leg and he'll be going.
Now, at this point, when you deliver the line, except for the guy at the end, you point off into the distance and you replace your hand here on the bottom left, and you can scratch your head, move your any other kind of like subtle movement to replace your right, top right, because now you're going to do the...
Except for the guy on the end, he's got one leg and he'll be going right, 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 right.
So now you just turn the arrow 4 times. Okay.
Next section. In front of you, you'll see a sign that says "Fine for parking here."
Now, you should be at, just to point out, you should be at the point where the arrow is pointing down, okay, and the arrow is pointing to the right. This gets you ready for the first reveal. Just to make sure that you're in the right position, when you drop the flap, you should see the big P. So, if we can carry on, Paul.
Yeah. In front of you, you'll see a sign that says "Fine for parking here." Don't park there, as it means you'll get a fine for parking. In the middle of the road, you will see a large P. Okay.
Here you have plenty of lines to disengage the flap. So when you're talking about the parking and it's fine for parking here, and you actually mean that you're going to get a fine for parking, you need to disengage the flap so that when you get to the next line, which is you'll see a big P, you can then turn the sign end for end, and now you show a completely different sign. And I've been performing this for a while, and you do get audible gasps because they've seen 2 different signs. Now they're seeing a 3rd different sign, and the brain just can't compute with this because you're not hiding anything. Okay, so milk this for all it's worth. You have now got time to disengage the second flap, which has the checkered flag. So while Paul talks through the next part of the script.
So you say, take no notice of that. That was me earlier. Just drive around, try not to splash anyone. In front of you, you'll see the name of the venue, advertising your name, the world's greatest magician.
Now, I just want to point out here, guys, don't say your name and don't say the venue. The venue is the place you're performing at. So let's say it's Hindhead Village Hall, and the person performing is, of course, me, Mike Sullivan. So those are the things that I would put in place of venue and the performer's name. So I just thought I'd clear that up just in case. So we're now at the last part of the script.
I said, do you like magic? He said, he loves it. I said, who's your favourite magician? He said, Dynamo. I said, what do you think of Mike Sullivan? He said, he's rubbish. I said, I'm Mike Sullivan. He said, I know, I'm Dynamo. However, you will have reached your destination.
And on that note, you turn over the arrow, turn over the sign, showing the last part of the sign, which is the checker flag, that everybody that owns a sat-nav knows is the final destination. So, many thanks for buying Misdirection. I'm sure you're going to get a lot of usage out of this. It is a great opener to anybody's show, entertainer or magician. And I hope to see you again soon. Many thanks.
So hi, my name's Paul Martin and this is my version of Wayne Dobson's brilliant new trick, Misdirection. Now you'll often hear a comedian or a magician start their show with a line, oh, the trouble I'd get in here tonight. Now we all know that is just a sad excuse for a joke, and personally I would never stoop so low as to do that. But let me tell you, the trouble I'd get in here tonight. Now, I'm driving around in my car looking for the venue and I got a little bit lost. So I saw this dirty, smelly old tramp who actually turned out to be just one of the locals. And I called him over. He said, my name's not Over, it's Tom. I said, what's your first name? He said, Tom. I said, Tom, that's Andy, I'm lost. Can you tell me how to get to the Winter Gardens? He said, sure. Anyway, he put his head through my window, which must have hurt because it was shut at the time. So I opened it, not a good idea, nearly chopped his head off. And he said to me, is this car licensed? I said, yes. He said, oh, good, can I have a gin and tonic? I was all right, but will you give me some directions? He said, sure. And he pulled out an arrow. He said, now listen carefully. Go down to the end of the road, take a left, go left again, left and left again. I said, wait a minute, if I go left and left again and then left and left again, I'll be back here. He said, I know, I want another gin and tonic. He said, whatever you do, don't go right, go left, because right is wrong and left is right. I said, right. He said, now it gets a little bit more confusing. You go down the road, take a right, go up the hill and take a left. I said, right. He said, you'll know you're in the right place because you'll be outside the army barracks and you'll hear them all going left, right, except the bloke on the end, of course, he's only got one leg and he'll be going right, which is a bit weird because that's the leg that's missing. But then again, he doesn't know his left from his right. He said, you'll then see a massive sign that says fine for parking here. Don't park there, you'll probably get a fine. You'll actually see a large P. Most people think that's for parking. It's not. That's where all the perverts hang out and actually means pull your pants down and bend over. So you don't want to stop there. Or maybe you do. He said you go down the road a little bit further and you'll see the Winter Gardens. And you'll see Wayne Dobson appearing here tonight. I mean, personally, I've never heard of him, but he must be quite famous because I've seen his name spray painted right across the front of the building. He said, there you will have reached your final destination. I said, thanks, mate, that's brilliant. He said, oh, one more thing. I said, don't tell me you want another gin and tonic. He said, no, do you do any other shorts? I said, I do. He said, oh, could I have a pair? I think I've just wet myself. That's Misdirection. Thanks.